Donald Trump strikes. Dollar defense. Iran chokes oil. Venezuela and Iraq targeted. Markets quick. Petrodollar under fire. Who controls energy and money? Well, let us break it down and understand about this context. Notably, the conflict between the United States and Iran, which began on February 28, 2026, continues to destabilize global energy markets. US and Israel forces launched strikes on Iranian sites, and Iran retaliated across the Middle East. The Strait of Hormuz, through which roughly one-fifth of the world's oil exports gateway, has become a flashpoint. Iran restricted shipping, raising fears of a global energy shock and keeping crude prices high. President Donald Trump issued a direct ultimatum to Iran to reopen the strait or face further strikes on critical infrastructure. And analysts note that Donald Trump's approach reflects a recurring strategy. That is, military action framed as responding to illegal activities, corruption, or security threats, while strategic goals like oil control and dollar dominance remain central. Global markets impact the war has caused a significant volatility. Oil prices remain above $100 per barrel, reflecting disrupted supply routes. Stock markets, including India's, weakened amid rising fuel cost and uncertainty. Risk assets face pressure as investors reassess inflation and growth forecasts, and economists warn that the impact could resemble the 1970s oil shocks, with higher energy costs fueling inflation and slowing global consumption. Well, let us understand about the connecting dots, that is oil, currency, and strategic interest. The Iran war highlights the link between oil and petrodollar and geopolitical power, a pattern that is evident in Donald Trump-era interventions. Past conflicts in Venezuela, Iraq, and Libya show how official claims of corruption, drug trafficking, or weapon threats often coincide with strategic objectives in order to control oil reserves and maintain the US dollar as the global reserve currency. Venezuela, world's largest oil reserves. In January 2026, the US conducted a military operation in Venezuela, capturing President Nicolas Maduro. Officially, the operation targeted drug trafficking and corruption, but analysts emphasize strategic reasons. Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves at 303 billion barrels, that is about 18% of the world's total. And the country also holds rare earth elements crucial for technology, and production remained below potential due to the mismanagement, underinvestment, and sanctions. Well, Venezuela was attempting to trade oil outside the dollar system, that is in yuan with China, rubles with Russia, and potentially through BRICS, which represents 40% of the global GDP. And all these moves threaten US dollar supremacy, that is a key element of global influence. Donald Trump's intervention reflects a dual rationale, that is control critical energy resources while countering alternatives to the petrodollar. Petrodollar system and historical conflicts. Let us understand about that. What is it? Well, the petrodollar system established in 1974 traces back to US negotiations with Saudi Arabia. The NSA of the US president arranged a deal. Saudi Arabia would sell all the oil in US dollars, and in return, the US would provide military support and protection. This boosted global demand for the dollar, established it as the world's reserve currency, and allowed the US to maintain economic leverage worldwide. Well, countries attempting to bypass all this system often faced intervention. Let us shed light on its example, as in Iraq in 2003, Saddam Hussein's plan to sell oil in euros preceded the US-led invasion, officially justified by alleged WMDs. And in Libya in 2009, Gaddafi's gold-backed oil currency initiative led to NATO intervention. And in 2025 to 2026, in Venezuela, Maduro's plan to sell oil in yuan and rubles along with potential BRICS membership resulted in US military action, framed as countering illegal activity. Well, let us understand about the geopolitical implications. Notably, the Iran conflict mirrors past interventions. The Strait of Hormuz remains central, while Venezuela's 18% oil reserves and currency maneuvers raised US concerns. Iraq and Libya previously demonstrated the consequences of challenging dollar-based oil trade. And across all these cases, energy control, currency leverage, and military actions intertwine, shaping markets, policy, and global stability. Now, from From the ongoing war in Iran to the interventions in Venezuela, Iraq and Libya, a clear pattern emerges that Donald Trump's actions often combine official justifications, that is corruption, drug trafficking or security threats, with strategic goals of controlling oil and preserving dollar dominance. Well, it is important to understand this continuum, and it is essential to interpret current events and their wider economic and geopolitical consequences. As Venezuela, beyond oil, also boasts Angel Falls, which symbolizes its natural wealth. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates, and do like, comment and subscribe to the channel.